What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. This your man Mo. Got my man Hill in the building.
Boardroom.
Got my man P on the board.
In the building, man. Love the game like Mitch. Let's go.
Fellas, there's been a new social media trend out there lately in NBA circles. We're done with the 90s. I think. Did they do we're done with the 80s too or whatnot?
Well, I know it's the 90s.
Well, I was saying, I think the 80s probably took them about 4 seconds to get through. But definitely they've been focused on the 90s though.
Okay. So first things, what are your thoughts on this new social? Have you guys seen any of the videos, any of the topics? I know one of the things that caught my eye was purported video of Jordan Can't Go Left, that he benefited from playing a lot of one-on-one. He never really had to face a lot of double teams or the zone defense that we see today and whatnot. First, let me ask, what are your thoughts on the videos? We're done with it.
I love them. I think we've been, let me not say that. I know I've been done with the 90s a little bit after the 90s. So it's refreshing to see people just share the same type of feelings that I've had.
Okay.
We'll get into it deeper, but someone was speaking vicariously for me, and it's about time, I think, people, hear it on the national level. Honestly, I'm glad it's taking people off.
So did I see it? I experienced this in real time. Shout out to my man Bowles, Penny, PB. Like years ago, there was an argument. It stems from the LeBron Jordan thing, to be frank. But yeah, this is not new. I just think it's new to social media. But oh yeah, I'm prepared for this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Can we get the elephant out of the room? The Jordan Can't Go Left. How do you guys feel about that? Can we start there?
Yeah, I just think it's good editing. I mean, obviously he's right-handed, so the left is his weak hand by definition. I get it, but I feel I saw it. Not even I saw it. He go.
Phil?
I mean, one of his key moves, the reverse dribble, he was baseline, he was going left, he was done going Ewan. So
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up finishing with his right, but that can go anywhere. Jordan is the greatest of all time. I don't think he is the issue for me.
In the 90s.
I think Bronies find a way to attack the 90s and inadvertently try to attack Michael Jordan. But I like the collateral damage for the people in the 90s, so I have no problem with it. So could Jordan go left? I'm just leave Jordan out.
Yeah.
But that is the basis. That's the basis for the whole TikTok, Instagram movement. So without further ado, like for me, seriously, to me, Shaq and Jordan are just untouchables from the 90s.
And I think I want to quote Mike Fratello. He said it during Jordan's playoff matchup against Bulls and Pistons. He was like, Michael Jordan's sensational, unstoppable going right, and he's just great going left. I think that says it all. Of course he's better going right because that's his dominant hand. Everybody should be better going toward their dominant hand. But I agree with you guys. I think there's more than enough evidence out there to show that, hey, he was more than capable of going left. I hear you say Shaq and Jordan should be pretty much untouchable. Are there any other players that are on that list where, hey, we say, you know what, they came in the 90s or were playing in the 90s, but they should be untouchable as far as the estimation of their talent?
To be fair, I would have to say Hakeem. I'm gonna give you Bird with asterisks, but I'm gonna give you Bird.
Okay.
And I believe we're done.
I mean,
Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas.
But you also have to remember too, playing in the night, and I think that's what some of this social media trend forgets too, is like Kobe, KG, they came in the 90s.
96 didn't start playing until about 99 with Kobe and started erupting in the 2000s. Kobe's out of the
Oh.
90s, if you ask me.
Yeah, be careful.
Kobe been bad in the 90s. That's you.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't think the people are discriminating. Like I know you think, oh, Kobe Garnett was there. They might say, all right, they couldn't hack it either. God bless the late Trey.
Yeah, no,
Right,
yeah, no,
but-
that struggles in the 90s. I don't even look at the 90s with Kobe. I mean, Kobe was always talented.
Right, but yeah, he didn't come. He didn't realize his potential until 2000.
That's what we get with this discussion
Mhm.
with the 90s is Kobe's output is why I leave Kobe out. You know what I mean? It's not his talent. My issue with the 90s is talent.
Mhm.
I think we had a lack of talent during those times. So we were discussing off air. You were feeling that certain rule changes enabled, I guess, better evolution of players that they are today. It's just natural growth that they just got into this.
Technique. I mean, it's just. I kind of always looked at it like, imagine if Wilt Chamberlain was 15 years old right now. His game would probably be totally different than it was then, because he didn't have anyone to watch. But now he could look at Elijah Wan, he could look at Ewan and be Joker. Before it was just George Mikan. If he could see him, I don't know what the the NBA games were televised then, so it's kind of like Wilt Chamberlain was winging it basically.
And I think also to your point, P, I think what people also don't take into account is the rules or the limitations those players were playing with during those different time eras and whatnot, and how the evolution of the game has led us to this point where we are right now. We were talking off air about some of the carry and traveling calls. Some of the dribbling, some of the step back moves that we have, and players being allowed to gather and then step into a shot. That wasn't allowed, definitely in the 80s, but early 90s, you start seeing some relaxation on the carry and the traveling rules and whatnot, and it leads to an evolution of the game where, hey, you're allowing players more freedom of movement, freedom to express themselves within the confines of the game. I think we were talking about Larry Bird, for example. He was playing in an era where coaches didn't encourage their players to take 3-point shots. It was hey, if he was taking close to 7 or 10 3-pointers a game, 9 times out of 10, a coach would have sat him, and said, you know what, go to the next person.
Right.
So he was playing in an era where it was encouraged, hey, that 3-point shot, yeah, we know you can make it, but don't take too many of them.
Yeah, no,
Now, that being said, I want to bring up, when we first started, we had this who does he remind us segment. So I want to get to that.
absolutely.
I just reeled off some people. Like I forgot Bird and Thomas. I didn't even think about them. Bird, I think, would be good in this game. I don't know if I guess
Comparisons, Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
And it's not even close.
Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, but I was thinking more Joker. I think frankly, Luka's a better ball handler than Larry Bird. But
Luka's just a better player than Larry Bird.
well, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you
We'll get back.
Bogdanovich?
We'll get back there. No. But Isaiah Thomas is another one. I think he would be out in today's game, just off his handle. I think it would be Kyrie.
I have that. I agree.
He's not the yeah, I got that from you.
Yeah.
Give credit to, but he's not the shooter that Kyrie is. But the ball handling, he'll be okay. If you couldn't hand check Isaiah Thomas, Chiefs. But these are I'm gonna name bring on some guys from the 90s who I think I see plays today that remind me of them. Jordan, to be all agree, he would kill. He reminds me, honestly, a mixture of SGA and Ant-Man.
Right.
I think he has the fundamentals, like SGA fundamental. He's so fundamentally sound. He reminds me of Jordan, but he doesn't have the athleticism and I think if you marry their talent and athleticism, you have Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Who else I got? Dream, Embiid. I think that's like one of the easiest ones for me.
Yeah.
I think just the skill set. Again, like you said, it's a difference in how they played. Like obviously, Embiid's a better 3-point shooter. I don't remember. I think I seen Dream hit 1 3 like while watching him play. I got a Barkley Meek combo. I think that Zion's athleticism and his mid-range, the way he maneuvers reminds me of Neek. And obviously his body type is, Charles Barkley. And all these players I think would be fine in this era. Pippen, I'm doing the reverse now, reminds me of PG-13 and Kawhi. It's like a mixture, that two-way player, they can handle the ball. Again, the offensive skill set's a little different. It's kind of like the Embiid Elijah one. Pippen is not shooting threes, they PG-13.
Right.
He's just
Pippen's not even shooting like PG.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too. That I think both PG and Kawhi offensively are ahead of the game.
Yeah. And when I say this, I'm just saying they're similar.
Mhm.
We can argue who's better or whatever,
Yeah,
but
that-
they just remind me. And this one was weird because I didn't really. This is kind of why I say today's talent is just like the talent pool is just better. Penny, LaMelo Ball. You know what I mean? Like again, if you think Penny's better, but the ball handling, the passing,
Yeah.
he reminds me of Penny. It's just imagine if LaMelo came in the league in 1993, you would be amazed. But now it's like, oh yeah, he's nice.
Well, no disagree.
And David Robinson, again, it's just the same thing with Dream and B. This is the last one. Cat
Absolutely.
without the 3-point shoot.
I think I got that.
And but David Robinson much better defender. That was a reach. David Robinson Cat might have been a reach. But,
No, I have to listen, like you took my exact
yeah.
thing.
So, but the thing is, that's it. Everybody else might be fooled and not in the league. From the 90s, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, you got some like a KG or Tim Hardaway, I think would be okay, but yeah, you don't have to ask me again. Those are the players I think would be dope in today's NBA.
What players do you guys think are hyped up from the 90s that wouldn't be able to translate to today's game?
I can name some right here.
Yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
He's going for the notes.
All right, so in answering you, I would go right out the gate, Joe Dumars. Whatever you feel of Marcus Smart is where I would have him as Marcus Smart. All right, so it's just me. Reggie Miller. I know they want to say Steph Curry. Both players that I'm gonna name in his comparison, I feel are eons better, and that would be Steph Curry and Booker. And it's not even close, but those would be people you would compare them to. And both could put the ball on the floor. Both shoot the three better and shoot it more at a better percentage. Clyde Drexler.
Well,
Who you getting there? Paul George, Siakam,
I was thinking DeRozan.
DeRozan.
DeRozan and Siakam. DeRozan and Siakam.
Both all better. But
I would go Drexler for Siakam. DeRozan is debatable. And I'm not going off accomplishments.
you might go Drexler for both. I would take both of them over Clyde Drexler right now. Gary Payton.
Oh, I think Pat Bev.
Pat Bev, I have here. Pat
I
Bev,
think Pat Bev.
Pat Bev, Marcus Smart,
Yeah.
Drew Holiday.
I think Drew's a compliment. I think Drew Holiday is better
way
than
better.
Payton, straight up.
Hall of Famer, Mutombo.
Who to go with?
Yeah, but a slower version.
Slower version of Gobert, I have that, or Bobo.
Oh no.
No.
Besides African,
Nothing.
I don't see it.
Tim Hardaway. I mean, it's overrated people. That's
I was a Tim Hardaway fan, but today's game, I think he'll be okay. I just don't know who he would be.
if he evolved, I have Jalen Brunson or De'Aaron Fox. He's nowhere close to those, correct?
Yeah.
You're talking about the difference in
Yeah.
Rodman. I have strictly out the league. But if he was Rodman, I have out the league. Evolution is Draymond, but Draymond dribbles. You never want Rodman running your offense.
And I think Rodman and Draymond are kind of like the examples of how the game evolved. I think to your point, hey, that's the only equivalent that you could probably give.
Yeah, I don't even,
You screamed when he touched the ball.
I don't even, I think it's because they're
Antics.
star role players.
Mhm.
That's the comparison. I want championships, but their game, nah.
You screamed when the ball. He played 5-on-4.
Yeah.
When the ball hit him, people freaked out. He hits a weird three. I mean, Draymond hits a three, they do act up a little bit, but Rodman hits anything.
He'll preach it to the choir. I'm amazed they won without Horace Grant. I thought Horace Grant was better. Like the results were the same. Right. You got a three people Horace Grant. So I thought Rodman was like, I think cool coach is very important because you're playing 4 and 5. Like you said,
that's what I'm saying.
Ron Harper had torn up knees and he was a better option.
Right.
I was never a Rodman guy. So yeah.
Karl Malone, whatever you have, again, that's another one overrated. Karl Malone in this league. I put him as Giannis.
I don't have him as. I think Giannis is way better.
Dominated as much.
Again, there's accomplishments, and then it's like eye test. Karl Malone. It's hard to say he wouldn't be in the league. But I don't know if he'd be in the league.
I think Giannis is probably the only player comparable to his game.
I don't see it being close.
No,
like
that would be the comparison that
only for a bench press. Like basketball wise, I don't see the similarity.
I think honestly, if you really look at them both, hey, they both fill the lane on the break. Okay. Which ball coming down the hill, they both use physicality to score on the break coming downhill. I think Karl Malone actually has a better mid-range game than Giannis does.
But it's because he has one. I think Giannis has one.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying,
So to get into our meat and crux of it, I'm gonna run these off right quick. It should take me 2 seconds. I got Chris Webber, AD, Jaren Jackson. Think about it how you want. Grant Hill, Kate Cunningham, Tatum, Alonzo Mourning, Bam Adebayo. I got KJ, Dame Lillard, not close. Sean Kemp, Amari, Stockton, Peyton Pritchard, Nash, CP3, Pippen, Brandon Ingram, or Durant. That would be to have had comparables. Both to me are better. Barkley, Zion. But Barkley shouldn't be in it. And Pippen he needs to tween this because I put stars by them because I think they would still be good in this era. You and I got Joel Embiid.
Wow, that's a compliment.
Zeke, Kyrie, Donovan, Bernard King, Carmelo Anthony, and Dominique Wilkins, Jonathan Kuminga.
Ooh, Kuminga? I mean, I have a Zion. That's why it's a difference.
Dominique?
Yeah.
I would actually take Kuminga.
Okay, well, there you go.
I would take it.
I think besides he had both of them mess with Neek.
Oh, God, no.
Besides the Neek Kuminga, there was one more. I think the other guy, the current guys are just better.
Everybody that you named, their current counterparts is definitely better.
Well, except the Neek Kuminga. I can't let that go. No, Kuminga's not better.
He really is.
Oh,
average. I think I think twice he averaged. It's only like 3 or 4 people averaged 30 during the Jordan era. But that helps the whole while the 90s to me stinks.
Yes, but I don't see anything Kuminga could do that Neek can't do. That's what I'm saying. What can he do? Like, what does he do actually?
I don't disagree with that. I just think it's just better.
Yeah, to me, Kuminga's Harrison Barnes, but younger and more athletic now.
I would say it's better.
But I think Harrison Barnes is better.
Dominique Wilkins?
No, I don't. But I'll give you.
I think Nick is more athletic than
he's better than to me. He's better.
But it's nothing.
Come on, y'all. Really, Harrison Barnes is a better jump shot. Right?
I give you that. I give you that.
You know what I mean? Better handle.
Nah, I can't give you handle. I give the jump shot because of the error.
I think Nick had that quick first step, and if that didn't work, what was he doing, man?
Yeah, but Harrison Barnes, it doesn't work. Harrison Barnes is a good play. I don't want to diss Harrison Barnes, but personally, I just think Dominique is just his skill set's better. And then I get it; he has a limited skill set, and I still think it's better. That's a long thing. We just disagree on Nick.
And I thought the Ewing and Embiid thing, that's being real great.
I think it's just updated. Like in older players he named, I think like I made a reference to Will Chamberlain thing earlier. If Ewan was 15 years old, he would grow to be Joel Embiid in today's era. But I get you saying, like, Joel Embiid has the best skill set than Patrick Ewing.
Right.
He just does.
And also, to be fair to Patrick Ewing, I think he plays better defense than Joel.
I think it might be a push, but okay.
That to me is pretty much evolution. Yeah, I think he morphs right into Joel Embiid. So I don't knock it either way because I think Patrick is a good player. And I think in this era, a team could use him. It's just that they don't know how to use centers.
Right.
So he's one that was just met the tweener, but if I had to make a choice, he wouldn't make it.
And I know the 90s videos, they kind of, how do you feel about the 90s videos kind of omitting some players that were drafted in the 90s, played early in the 90s and whatnot, but the majority of their career, like Kobe, for example, hey, we were talking about that. He was drafted in 90s, Iverson and whatnot.
I think it's almost like a technicality. I think you have to look. Of course, it depends on who's making the video.
Or
they probably did not watch the 90s. They probably weren't allowed to in the 90s.
Or is that Kobe Iverson draft the transition point where, hey, we start getting to the better quality players coming into the league, or teams transitioning from that era where you can have a Charles Oakley or a Dennis Rodman who basically focused on defensive rebounding and were goons on the other side of the ball.
I mean,
to teams saying, know what, we need well-rounded players from 1 to 15.
I think it's a big part of the evolution, but I don't think it's the moment. I don't think it is a moment. I just think, 96, 2003 is regarded as the two best drafts, basically after 84. So of course, 96, 2003, you could say, okay, that was it. Because that was an influx of talent, basically new talent. So I think that's just a showcase of the new. You know what I mean? So
I think this one is the switch got clicked on in 96. I think every generation, I think people are going behind the back, and I think we're going between the legs. I think it just got better. 96 was that hit of perfect storm and tornado at the same time. You had great talent, watching the older generation, watching the people idolize Jordan. You had N1, and you had self-expression. So you had perfect time for Iverson, Kobe, and others to say, NBA, this is where we want to take you guys. And I think the NBA for the first couple of years fought it, dress code, grooming code.
And even how they made their calls. Like Iverson, the first couple of years in the NBA, was having issues with excessive carry calls and whatnot.
I think you had more so, I hate to put street ball on it, I think you had more self-expression being able to be expressed in the game. And whether or not the NBA was willing to take that step and say, all right, we want to embrace it or hold it. But I think it was just too much of a push from watching Allen Iverson in college and watching Kobe Bryant in high school and saying, like, I don't think these forces you can maintain, so maybe we should get behind them. But it took them a while to do so.
Yeah, I think it's really evolution where if you look at probably the three best players out that draft,
right?
I mean, in Iverson, Kobe, and Ray Allen, they were all pretty much like off the Michael Jordan tree, right? Yeah, I think they would tell you that. You know what I mean? And so I just think these are kids looking at Michael Jordan, going to the court and implementing his stuff, but putting, like you said, their new stuff they're learning in the playground, high school, AAU games, whatever. And it's just evolution.
I want to kind of expand on something that you brought up, Hill, in the sense that in 96 you had that confluence of, hey, the talent that we're talking about, the popularity of N1 street ball coming into play, and how that kind of forced the NBA's hands as far as, hey, how you're calling calls and the rules that you guys set up for defenses and stuff like that. Does this kind of mirror what the NBA went through when they had that NBA ABA merger where, Dr. J's coming in, NBA before that time, hey, they didn't have the 3-point line. They weren't really promoting players to dunk, you know what I mean? And with the popularity of the Rucker at that time and Dr. J making a name for himself with the Pearl Monroe at the Rucker and stuff like that, and how it forced the NBA to change its game. Do you think 96 was a similar moment to that?
Now, I think 96 kicked the door in. I think 92, 91, whenever you had UNLV, the Fab Five, and Kenny Anderson, Russia, I think they were the ones knocking on the door. They were saying the game is different. Like Kenny Anderson was doing things. He brought Rigo Park to college basketball. You know what I'm saying? Chris Jackson, he brought his game over from there. You had Jalen Rose bringing attitude over. You had saying, I don't want to wear mid-cut shorts. I want baggy shorts. You know what I'm saying? I want long overextended jerseys. I want a shirt over the jersey. You know what I'm saying? I want to roll my sleeves up. They knocked on the door. All these guys followed after the Larry Johnsons, the Jalen Roses. Jordan, to me, was the staple to where your game I wanted to be at. I think he had the purest game of any generation. He was just someone from a time machine.
He is,
You know what I'm saying? So he was the base of you're going to make a great player. He was it.
and we all agree that Jordan definitely was ahead of his time. Like,
Yeah, I believe he was that marriage of fundamentals. Like I think him and Tim Duncan, it's weird to say are similar. As like they're just fundamentally
Right.
sound. Like,
Right,
that's what people don't realize. Jordan is fundamentally sound, but he gives you that flash of the Iverson, the Kobe, the UNLV, because again, he influenced that,
Mhm.
right? I'm sure if you ask the Running Rebels, the
Mhm.
Michigan Fab Five, yeah, Jordan was our guy. You know what I mean? So I think it's that perfect. He was that perfect marriage. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like a time machine.
But we would have never known about how much trash talking he actually did, except it wasn't for the players. You know what I'm saying? We see Jordan, dunk your face. He might do a point. It's like, yeah, we want to do it. The difference of a Jordan doing that, and you're saying like, oh, I see Jalen Rose dunking. He has his hands on his hip, or Shaq's doing the thing, and just showing up is what I think made 96 pretty much say, all right, we're going to take this league on to a whole different level. It's out of your hands now, NBA. It's no more of a team game. It's no more of this love fest of Midwest, old generational family. I'm getting the inner city kid, and I'm getting that talent, which I didn't want to tap into because I thought it would mess up the league. Now I'm going to go after it now. And I think those players were always there and better. And you were just able to take that risk and say, you know what, I'm going to embrace culture and basketball. So,
and I think you bring up a good point in the sense that the NBA started moving away from the strictly team-oriented basketball playing. Larry Brown, notorious for saying, "Hey, play in the right way." That sense of coaching or sense of basketball was kind of getting stripped away because Michael Jordan shows you that, hey, a singular guy can carry a team and can get you championships.
I disagree, actually.
Okay.
I disagree I mean, I coaches definitely did it. Like, I hear Iverson hits the ball or whoever hits the ball, go do it. But that doesn't really win. Like Jordan played in the like when Jordan was doing it in the 80s, you got him in the first round.
Mhm.
When he did the triangle and the team ball and triangle offense with Tex Winter, that's when they won. You know what I mean? So I think coaches did say, okay, I have this uber talent to do. Here's the ball, go. As we see now, James Harden doesn't work for James. It didn't work for James Harden in Houston. It's not working for Luke in Dallas.
Mhm.
So I think people do it, but I argue with the being a success part. I disagree.
I think not so much as a success, but that, hey, the NBA as a league started promoting more of the individual instead of, hey, the team.
I hate to keep being contrarian. I think that's Magic and Bird. I
Okay.
think that was happening since 79, 80. You know what I mean?
but I don't think he had nothing else to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you had this talent where you felt that, all right, Shea Gildress is over there in Oklahoma and OKC. I don't think you felt like, all right, outside of Magic, I think Dale Ellis is gonna do something over there in Seattle. I just think you have Anthony Edwards over here in Minnesota. Like I don't think like Jack Sigma was doing it. I just think that the talent it's just not even close from then. So for the 90s, it's I mean, to bring it all back.
Because I know part of my thought process when I think of the 90s is, hey, I think of the great teams. You know what I mean? Because outside of Jordan and hey, the cats that it was the team. You know what I mean? The teams that kind of captured our interest.
Because
because to Hill's point, you didn't have a lot of people competing with Jordan for that title of, hey, can I be in the conversation with him as far as best in the league? You know what I mean? Whereas today's game, you may argue that Joker is the best player in the game, but he has company in the conversation. And it's not a stretch. Whereas in the 90s, we say it's Jordan, and then who you say? Barkley. You know what I mean?
Every time it was Jordan. Even when they get the
and it's like, like there's nobody that you would logically say deserves to be in the conversation or in the same room as him. You know, I'm playing. Whereas in today's game, the best player, he has company in the room. There's nobody in the game today that's so heads above everybody else.
Tatum, Joker,
You know what I mean? Like Luka.
They're all within some vicinity of each
Right,
other.
but that's recent. That's like in the past 2 or 3 years. Because before it was LeBron, right? Like it was just kind of.
But even then, hey, LeBron.
Durant, you're second, but you're second.
But even during part of LeBron's era, all right. What part of LeBron's era? After he leaves Cleveland and goes to Miami, or while he's at Cleveland, the first thing in Cleveland, hey, you still had Kobe out there. You still had, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but Miami Bron, he was it. There's no conversation.
Right, so
but
that's like 12 to
but even then, hey, he had 2 years in Miami where he stuck up the joint and what you call it?
He just
lost to Dirk and lost to
but
Kimmy.
when he lost to Dirk, he was the best. I was think most people say he was the best player in the league. He stunk it up, definitely. But
Dirk got MVP.
No, I think B Rose got the MVP.
Right.
LeBron should have it.
Right.
But he left and they didn't want to give it to him.
So from a 5 to 7 year span, yeah.
But I agree now. But yeah.
But I think that's the whole thing is like right now, you know what I'm saying? Like they ain't even saying like the teams were trash. Like they're saying right now, as opposed to
there's
the
no
90s.
There's no undisputed guy in the league. Yeah, I agree with that. Choker's coming close, but there's still competition.
One of the things that we talk about with the 90s is like Hill, you said that there's lack of talent in the 90s and whatnot. Do you want to get into that a little bit more?
Let's go from inside it out, the metropolitan area, the Knicks. Who was their great player in the 90s?
Oh, Pat.
Drake?
Oh,
no,
they didn't have one.
Okay.
Nets?
Line didn't have a good player in the 90s.
Nets in the 90s, JK? Yeah, like it was. Well,
okay. I don't think. He's a 90s player.
Exactly.
And his name did not come up until now.
Dallas
That should tell you something.
Oh, that should tell you something. But I mean, what your point of Steve Nash, you said it was
in comparison with John Stockton. I mean, you want to put JK with him too? Fine. But I'm just saying that was who they would be. Nash was in 96, right?
Yeah.
But that was later. Kid was earlier. So Kid was
I think 94.
Right. So he can be in there, but he had from, now you're thinking Nets, right? So that's 99, that's later, right? Because he was
Like two,
Dallas, Phoenix, then
right, so
Nets.
like, I wanna say 2001.
Dallas, does he play? Yeah, right. So that's when, so you really,
Oh, no, you can put him in the nineties.
Yeah, absolutely.
I question if he would be, I don't know.
You don't think he would be able to,
I don't think you need him in today's NBA.
hmm.
Like, there's so many ball handlers on one team, I don't need you to set me up, and when I get double, I need you to knock this down. I know he became a shooter in his later years.
yeah, but
But in the nineties, let's keep it a buck, he was
Mhm.
ace and kid, because he had no J.
Hmm.
I didn't make that up. I
No,
did not make that up.
That's a fact.
So, and I like Jason Kidd, I'm a fan of his game, but in today's NBA,
Hmm.
I mean, we watched the nineties, and I think the nineties exemplifies toughness, more so skill. That's what the old time players are yelling. Like, I can't watch this game now because there's so many rules. You can't touch them. That's the argument I'm getting. It's not like we were better. That's what I want to hear from nineties basketball players. You're not getting that.
yeah.
Eh.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, to play God's advocate, only thing I think, if you're trying to go with the nineties, whatever, you can argue fundamentals. But skill set, I don't think you ever leg the stand. That's just this overall.
And I think I agree with you, Hill, in the sense that I'm tired of them using that, hey, it's just tougher, you know what I mean, more physical. I would rather them explain, hey, some of the rules that they had to deal with as opposed to what we're dealing with in today's game. And I think they would have a better argument if they went that route.
And the thing about mental Rolodexes back then, we went out and played.
Mhm.
Think about your games. You call out a player. You're only using 4 players. During that time, we were playing basketball.
Mhm.
A move. It's a penny move. Prior to Kobe and everything else.
Mhm.
Down low, you were Shaq. Everything else, you was Jordan on the outside. A little handle, you was Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Right. Maybe. We only naming maybe 4 to 6 players in your mental roller that you never went from in the 90s. Up until 96 went up, and then all right, yeah, because you like, I mean, 96 blew it out the water. You started seeing different players. Allen Iverson just really just rocked the world. Now, a kid out there now, I'm Tatum. I'm Shea. That's wild. People saying something. I'm Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying? I'm Wemby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Chet.
Mhm.
Like, it's just an abundance of talent right now, which makes me say, like, how is this even a comparison between the two? But you take it a step further, that's why I say, yeah, the 90s was awful.
Hey guys, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. Are you done with the 90s? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. And you can hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Fellas, what's on the radar?
NCAA, women and men's. I'm locked in. I'll be right here watching all the games start. I know you guys like get me to what, Sweet 16, anything like that. I like upsets, so I'll be here.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm really excited to see the women's tournament. I'm not too. I haven't been following the men's
Understandable.
basketball game too hard, but I am excited to see if UConn can repeat. What Kentucky's going to be able to do with their young talent and whatnot. So, but I definitely am more excited for the women's tournament. Caitlin, Juju,
Right?
yeah, Brink, Reese,
Cardozo.
Cardozo. if South Carolina gets to the second
They
round.
should.
Yeah,
They can't make it past the first
I
round.
need, I need, I need Paige to go on a run. You're really disrespecting Paige. But keep going.
Paige.
I need her to go. I need her to go on a run.
I think Paige, man, she has to make a run in this tournament. I think her stock is mid-level at this point. You know, I don't think she's at the top of her class. You know, and I think there are some young ladies, Juju, that are up and coming and saying, "Hey, we could do it. Do what you do and do it better." I think Paige has a lot to prove in this tournament. UConn
Time to do it.
and as a whole.
I'm all for it. That's the beauty of the tournament.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
What's on?
Mine, oh, what you call it, retirement of Aaron Donald.
Quarterbacks can rest now.
Very impressive career. Relatively short, I guess, a 10-year career, but the accolades, surefire Hall of Fame. 10-year career, 10-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year,
All pro.
All-Pro, and 1-time Super Bowl champ. Aaron Donald, excellent career.
Top 5?
Get your Hall of Fame speech ready.
Top 5. Defensive.
You can make the argument.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Top
him and-
5.
it's-
Defensive.
For me, it's him and Sack. But the lineman, because you know,
Yeah, I mean,
he's in the running.
altogether defensive, top 5. Taylor, White,
To me, it's Ray Lewis,
Ray Lewis,
LT, Dion,
Reggie White,
then you could put, if you want to,
Aaron Donald.
You can put Donald top 5. I have no.
Yeah, Minnesota, Reggie gets, so Reggie needs to be there.
No, you can put, like I said, Ray, as long as you have Ray, LT, and Dion, I'm cool. As long as you have those 3, I'm cool.
Reggie and Donald, I probably have.
Yeah, you go Reggie, Donald,
Ed Reed.
Ed Reed,
You go
Lot,
Ed Reed.
outside,
depending on how much you like safeties, go Palomalo.
Lot.
Yeah, Lot, yeah.
I think I had to put Ed Reed and Palomalo in that round. down.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's a good argument. It's you got to be great just to be in that conversation. So
Yeah, great career.
yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that's it, folks. Hey, like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. And before we head out, just want to send our condolences out to the Barrett family. RJ Barrett lost his younger brother, Nathan Barrett. Just want to send out condolences to the Barrett family. It's always terrible to lose a young member of the family. So don't know what his cause of death was, but it's sad for him passing anyway. So our condolences out to the Barrett family. Definitely.
Right.
Peace.